Hello, it's time for Combat Patrol Carnage. We're back for our final time with issue 22, and we have quite a lot of information to read. But we are finally playing a full-size game of Combat Patrol, utilising our two full Combat Patrol armies that we have now, so our Space Marines and our Tyranids. This is going to be an interesting game. We got, like I said, a bit of information to learn first. I'm not going to read all of it out because there is quite a bit, but it's basically the same information that comes from the Combat Patrol core rules available on the Games Workshop website. It's just handed to us here in the magazine for easy access. There is one or two pages that are slightly different, so we'll go through those in a little bit more detail. But yeah, it's looking like we're going to be playing some much larger games and on larger battlefields, because we now have our two mats, which will give us our full Combat Patrol size board. I am going to have to remove my back screen from my desk in order to fit everything on the table. So before we hit the table and have our new game and learn our new rules, don't forget to do all the usual. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop me a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys, and it goes a massive way to help the channel. Combat Patrol is great for getting anyone into the hobby. It's a small game system, can be played in just about an hour, and it's easy to get. All you have to do is buy one box of models, and of course maybe some paints to colour them in, and you can get yourself an army on the tabletop in next to no time. So the collection's giving us 9. There are many more out there, so choose one that fits your playstyle or even the army you like the most. Finally then, Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They stock everything from new and used models for various different armies and game systems, to all your hobby supplies and your gaming essentials as well. They're also stockists of Combat Patrol magazine and previous partworks from Hachette, so if you're looking for some extra issues, check them out. There's a link in the video description, and who knows, you might find your next hobby project at a bit of a discount. Right, let's get to the table and play our first full game of Combat Patrol. Here we are back with issue 22 for one last time. It's gaming time, of course, and we've got a couple of articles to look at, and then we're going to get into our first full-sized game of Combat Patrol. So let's get the gaming equipment out of the way, and we'll dive right into the magazine. So into our magazine we go, past our lore articles and collect articles, and boom, here we are at our first play article. So this is all about playing Combat Patrol. Now, different to what I'd normally do, I'm not going to read through all of this as there's quite a lot to go through, but it's basically a nice introduction to Combat Patrol, which, you know, they could have at least given us this page early on in the collection, but it's nice that it's gathered here as we are now starting to look at the full core rules of the game. So a quick summary: Combat Patrol is the quickest and simplest way to start collecting and playing Warhammer 40,000. In Combat Patrol games, each player will command a compact army of Citadel miniatures in tactical clashes that should last up to 1 hour. Yeah, and even our small games have usually took about 1 hour as well. Yeah, nice introduction to the game. Over the page, we've got an introduction to Battle Ready, or how to paint your models. So Battle Ready is basically getting flat colours and often a shade down, and there's two ways of doing it. You can either do it the contrast method with the high pigment but thin contrast paints. So you put down a nice bright base colour and then you apply your contrast paints over it, being as neat as you can. And then, of course, the method we've been taught at the moment in the magazine is the good old classic method, where you put down your base layers, put down a shade, and then if you want to go extra steps, you add some highlights. Finally, we've got a little bit about battlefields. So this shows the contents of the Warzone Nachmund terrain set, which I actually have in my gaming collection. Haven't built everything. I've built one bunker, the landing pad, and one set of barricades. I've got another set of barricades, another bunker, the communications tower, and the radar dish to finish off. Yeah, that's pretty much a full combat patrol board, and we can see our 2 combat patrol forces in the midst of a battle. Looking really cool. Moving on, then we have combat patrol missions. A combat patrol game is waged by following the sequences below. Note that the first step can be completed before you even get to the gaming table. So yeah, the first bit is obviously select your combat patrol and your enhancements. So we've seen, but we haven't been told to use yet, our faction abilities. On these cards there are enhancements, stratagems, and even relics that we can give to our characters. And there's also, of course, our army rules on them as well. So you want to pick this before you hit the battle table. Ideally, selecting your warlord, the upgrade and enhancement you want to give him, and of course making a note of all the important information you need as well. Next up, we determine our mission. So this is a D6 table, but currently we have only one mission, which will be over the page. Then we've got a little key to show what the battlefield is. So there's 2 different deployment zones, attackers and defenders. There's also different board edges. So attackers board edge, which is often the longest board edge on the battle zone, deployment zone. And defenders battlefield edge is the same for defenders. Grey area in the middle is no man's land. The little star in the center is the center of the battlefield. And finally, anything with a skull inside is an objective marker. So you can see that in use over the page in a minute. First off, we've got create the battlefield. So before you deploy, you need to set up your battlefield board, which is 2 sets of small boards, which add up to a total zone of 44 inches by 30 inches, which is roughly 3 by 4, a little bit smaller. My table that I film on is 3 by 4, and the mats fit on there with just a couple of inches each side to spare. Roll off to determine who's attacker and defender. Winner obviously choosing. Declare your battle formations. So this is where you decide who's going to join what squad. If you're going to split any big squads into smaller squads. Who wants to stay in reserve, etc. And of course transports, which we don't really cover, so we don't have transports in this collection. When you've done that, you move on to deploying armies. So you alternate deploying 1 unit at a time in your deployment zones. Then you roll off again for first turn, resolve any pre-battle abilities. Then you begin your first round, end the battle, and then you determine your victor. A little box about objective markers. We got some of the collection, but I also have these awesome older ones that were from a previous edition's objective set. They look really cool. So I'll be using those in games going forward. And then we have our first actual patrol mission to use. So this is the basic Clash of Patrols. So your forces have been dispatched to a crash site in search of vital intelligence, stored in surviving data cores in the wreckage. High Command insists you do not return empty-handed, but warns of enemies converging on the crash site. Secure the area and the data at all costs. So in this mission, we have a special rule, retrieve intelligence. So in each player's command phase, from the second battle round onwards, the players whose turn it is can select one objective marker they control and recover data from that objective marker. Each time a player recovers data from the objective marker, if their warlord is on the battlefield or embarked on a transport that is on the battlefield, they'll gain 1 command point. Each objective marker can only be selected for this rule once. I'm not too sure if it's meant to be command point or victory point for that, but yeah, command point, an extra one, ain't to be sniffed at. Then we have our primary objective here then, so take and hold. In the second, third and fourth battle round, you score points as follows. So at the end of each player's command phase, the player whose turn it is scores 5 points for each objective marker they control for a total of 15. In the fifth battle round, the player who has the first turn scores victory points as described above, but the player who has second turn scores victory points as described above, but does it so at the end of their turn instead of the end of their command phase, giving them an extra chance to try and claim victory points and objectives that were previously out of their reach. And then finally, before we hit the battlefield, we have a clash of patrols. So there's a nice little tick chart. I'm going to photocopy this for my own personal use, maybe laminate it and use a wipeable marker. But yeah, basically you can tick off to find out who's faced off against who in the collection. So we've got attackers and defenders. So you tick off which faction fought which faction as the attacker and which faction fought which faction as the defender. And then, yeah, you just tick off, say these two have fought so far. You can also put down perhaps a W or an L for win or lose, depending if you want to record that, but each to their own. So it's a nice little addition to the collection. This isn't actually in the core rules, but it's nice to the collection. And we have, of course, all the different combat patrols we are getting. So Space Marines, Tyranids, Eldari, Chaos Space Marines, Orcs, Leaguers of Atan, Genius Occults, Astra Militarum, and finally World Eaters. Right, with that said, I'm off to set up our battlefield and we'll get into our first full game of Combat Patrol. So here we are then with our first full-size Combat Patrol game set up. So I've scattered the terrain roughly equal around the battlefield. We've got our objectives, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. So each of these two are 10 inches from the centre, each of these two are 6 from the centre. And we're ready to see who will deploy first. Well, who will be attacker and defender. So, Tyranids. And they will choose to be attacker, I think. Very fitting for the Tyranids. So in that case, defender, I believe, will set up its first unit. Yes, correct. So we'll go on to deployment, starting with our defenders, the Space Marines. So we're back after deployment. The Space Marines has gone very limiting, as we only have the Infernus Marines and the Captain out, as the Librarian joined as the Terminator squad are going to arrive later. The Tyranid players opted to put the Prime and Parasite in Deep Strike as well. So he's deployed the Leapers just behind that terrain piece there. The Termagants have split, so 10 there, and finally the Psychophage dominating at the centre there. With that, all what's left to do is to roll who goes first, and we can begin first turn. Space Marines. Ooh, that's going to be important, I think. So here we go. Space Marine, turn 1. So here we go. Space Marines, turn 1. So start of the turn. Both players get a command point, and I've already given each team 10 points for having painted models. We don't score any points in the first round, so it's all about trying to hold positions. I think the captain will just move 4, so he's sat beside the objective better. And Furnace Marines will move up 6. And I'm going to say a little too hidden. Yeah, it just crosses that corner, so they won't actually be able to shoot. Pity, because they are actually in range. There's nothing else they can actually shoot at. So they'll just move forward and sit on that objective. And that will be pretty much the Space Marines' turn. There's not a lot they can do. Captain can shoot. And he'll shoot the Termagants not in cover for 2 shots. Hitting on 2s. Both hit. Wounding on 3. Strength 4 to 3. 1 wound. I'm using the wrong dice. Wrong dice. 5 up armor save. Saved. Okay. First round of shooting didn't go too well. With that said, on to Tyranids, turn 1. So again, both sides will get a command point. So all we've got to do now is do our moving. So Psychophage, he has a mighty move, but I think I'm only going to move him 5. which gets him in range of his Psychoclastic Torrent. Termagants over here are going to advance up so they can hit that objective. With a mighty 5, giving them an 11. And these termagants will move just their 6 through the gap. And then we're on to our shooting. So not everybody can see the Infernus Marines, so they can see, yeah, they're going to be an 18. So our split fire, 3 that can't see the Infernus Marines will shoot the captain. The 7 that can see the Infernus Marines will shoot the Infernus Marines. So 7 shots at the Infernus Marines, hitting on 4s for 4 hits, wounding on 3s for 3 wounds. No AP, so standard 3+ power armor. Takes a single wound. Not bad. Could have been worse. And then the 3 shots at the captain. 2 hits into 1 wound. 2+ save. Saved. And the other termagants who have moved up, they can shoot their assault weapons. All 10 will go at the captain. See if weighted numbers can work. Wow. 6 hits. Strength 5, tough 5, 4s. Into 4 wounds. Not bad. 4 2-up saves. Passed them all. Alright, Psychoclastic Torrent, D6 shots for 5. Strength 6, tough 5, freeze. 4 wounds. And -1 this time, so captain's down to a 3-up save. Ow, failed 2. He's took 2 wounds. Is it 2? Yes, only 1 damage each. So 2 wounds to the captain. He hasn't started off too well. Charges. Oh, I forgot I should have moved the leapers out and charged them into the Infernus Marines. Dang. The termagants are in range, so is a Psychophage, but I think we're going to hold and dominate objectives for the moment. So, with that, it's over to Space Marines. Turn 2. So we can start scoring points now. So we aren't really in range of that objective, which should be 10 from the center. Bang on there. It's halfway as across as I can get. No, we're just... Ooh, actually. Yeah, just in. So, okay, we do score 5, 10. We don't score more than the opponent. Do score 10, and at our command phase we can also scry for the objective. So we gain an additional command point as long as our warlord on the battlefield, which he is. So that gives us 2 command points against the Tyranids 1 for this turn. And now we're going to have to get into the actual shooting. So let's make the leapers work to get to the Infernus Marines. They're going to move there and Pyre Blaster those termagants. Captain will sit still, end of movement phase. Do we want to bring anything in from reserve just yet? No, we're just in. So we're going to move there and Pyre Blaster those termagants. Captain will sit still, end of movement phase. Do we want to bring anything in from reserve just yet? No, we're just in. So we're going to move there and Pyre Blaster those termagants. Captain will sit still, end of movement phase. Do we want to bring anything in from reserve just yet? No, we're just in. So we're going to move there and Pyre Blaster those termagants. Captain will sit still, end of movement phase. Do we want to bring anything in from reserve just yet? No, we're just in. So we're going to move there and Pyre Blaster those termagants. Captain will sit still, end of movement phase. Do we want to bring anything in from reserve just yet? No, we're just in. So we're going to move there and Pyre Blaster those termagants. Captain will sit still, end of movement phase. Do we want to bring anything in from reserve just yet? No, we're just in. So we're going to move there and Pyre Blaster those termagants. Captain will sit still, end of movement ph I think we are holding fine for the moment. We'll leave it as it is. So we're going to do our shooting next. 5d6 shots at the Infernus Marines. 9, 10, 11, 12, 16. Strength 5, toughness 3, so freeze. Ooh, haven't done too well. We've missed 7, or failed to wound with 7. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 5 up saves. Passing 2. We won't re-roll. Termagants are next to nothing. So we will, we lose a total of 2, 4, 6, 7. So there's 3 left. We'll leave the front 3 because I think if we survive battle shock, they will harry the Infernus Marines in combat. Captain will shoot then, and you know what? Ooh. To that guy, I do get rapid fire. So 4 shots of the Stormbolter. Can we finish off the squad? With 4 hits, we should be able to. Freeze to wound. Only 2. 5 up saves. No, 2 more dead. Bang, bang. Actually, you know what? I've got command points. Let's reroll one of those failed wounds. Into success. Another 5 up save. Nope, that does wipe the unit out. Sweet. That's denied them at least 1 unit. With that said, there's not a lot we can actually do. Moving on to Tyranids, turn 2. So both sides will get a command point. And the Tyranids will score 5, 10, and that's it. So it's still a tie for the moment, but things can soon shift. So, movement phase, right. Luckily the Leapers have got the movement. They'll go 5, followed by 5. 5, followed by 5. And this guy can go 8, followed by 2. Yeah, in range. Coherency. Sweet. Psychophage will just sit menacingly. Termagants will sit on the objective. And I think we're going to drop in... See, 9 is there. Yep, there will be fine. I think we'll drop the Prime in ready to challenge the Captain. And the Parasite, I think I'll hold off for another turn. So with that, it's on to 2-minute shooting. D6 Cycloclastic Torrent at the Infernus squad for 6. I'm using the wrong colour dice. Use the correct colour this time. Auto hitting, strength 6, toughness 4, freeze. 5 wounds minus 1. So I need to roll these currently 1 at a time. So 4+, that's our injured Marine dead. And the last 2 at a time. Last 4 even 2 at a time. Ouch. There's another Marine dead. And ow! Yeah, that hasn't gone very well. 3 Marines dead. Oh dear. Poor Infernus squad. Termagants will shoot 10 shots at the Captain. Prime. 6, 7, 8, 9. One more for 10. Hitting on 4s. For only 4. Wounding on 5s. No, strength 5 tough by 4s. for nothing. That's cool. On to charges, leapers into the Infernus Marines, only a small number. A 4 is perfect. And the Wing Prime's going to need a 9. Ooh, he gets a 9. Man, puts him at the ½ inch to get into combat. So, leapers fight first. So 18 attacks. 6, 10, 12, 18. Hitting on freeze. Only missing 4. Nice. Wounding on freeze. Strength 5, tough 4. Oh, fine, on the floor you go. I don't need to waste many rerolls on that. That is enough saves to possibly wipe that unit, unless the sergeant tanks them. 6, 10. Don't think I need to roll because I'm not going to survive this. -1, so 4 plus saves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fails. That is the squad. Eliminated. We can consolidate, but I won't. I'm going to sit and hold that objective. Next up, the Winged Prime. Strikes with his Prime Talons. Hitting on 2s. That's everything. Wounding on 3s because he's tougher, stronger than the Terminator Captain, who's only toughness 5. So strength 6. Oh, I'm going to have to do a reroll on one of those. There we go, at least 2 have gone through. Other than that, massively fail. -1 to the captain's save, so down to 3, which he passes both. He can turn around, hitting the Winged Prime on 2s. That's lucky, that's all of them. I'm going to save my reroll for the wound roll, because I need to wound on 4s. Ooh. Yep, I will do a reroll on one of those because I've got 2 fails. No, there's still 2 fails. This could be enough to kill it. If it fails, it saves. 6 up. He's going to spend 1 point to reroll. No! Ow. Oh dear. That is 6 damage through. Poor Winged Prime. He's dead. Not too sure if that was a fair trade, Prime for Infernus Squad, but they're definitely going to need some backup. So, moving swiftly into Space Marine's turn 3. Start a command phase then. Both teams score 1 command point. Space Marines will only score 5 victory points. Because we sadly don't own more than the opponent, or more than 1. So movement phase, captain is not going to move, but get back. You know what? We'll get there. So 9 is there. It's going to be hard to fit them all on. So we'll start with the librarian, assault cannon. They might have to be in a line. Well, actually, we'll see. Because depending how far 9 is here, yeah, I can curve around a bit. So there. There, and I can get the last guy behind. Sweet. Brilliant flash of light, and the Terminators have appeared on the battlefield. So, Moving on to shooting phase. So Captain will open up on those leapers. Wrong dice. Let's try again. 3 hits. No wounds. Cool. And now the fun begins, because we have... So we'll open up with Librarian's Smite, so D6, and we will do the Focus Witchfire for maximum hurt, for a total of 6. So, hitting on freeze, dropping 2 but gaining 3 for sustained hits. Nice. Oh, fudge dice. And strength 6, toughness 5, freeze the wound. That is 4 wounds. So these are D3, so I will take them one at a time. So 6 up save. Fails into D3 wounds. Only the 1. Sweet. Next save. Failed again. D3 wounds. 3. So that's 1 leaper down. 6 up save. Passed. 6 up save. Passed. So we've only lost 2 from the smite. We roll for hazardous. In the tray, please. Ouch! He would fail the first time we have a full game. So he takes 3 wounds, is it, for hazardous? 3 wounds for 3 wounds. So hazardous has bit the librarian in the bum. But we still have the rest of the Terminators to shoot. So bring in their data cards, I can see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 Stormbolters. It should all be in. Oh, the last one is just... Nope, he's in. Sweet. So yeah. Rapid fire maximum. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hitting on freeze. Missing quite a few, but getting 2 back for sustained hits. And strength 4, toughness 5, so 5s. Not bad. We've got 5 gone through. These are only 1 damage a pop, so we will roll them all at the same time. 5, 4 up saves. Made all at 1 damage. And finally 6 shots in the assault cannon. Missing once, but gaining 1 back for sustained hits. And strength 6, tough 5, freeze. 2 regular and 2 devastating. So the 2 devastating will take him out. 2 regular can be saved, which aren't. So it puts 2 wounds down on the remaining leaper. And if we want to charge, it is going to be a 11. You know what? Let's try it. Because we've got a reroll. If I want to get the captain in, he's also going to need an 11. Actually, no, he might need a 10. Yes, he can get in with a 10. So we'll try the Terminators first on an 11. Ooh, command reroll. No, they failed. And the captain will try on a 10. He gets a free reroll. No, still failed. Okay, we are sat out in the open. But we have done quite a bit of damage to the Tyranids, and it's on to Tyranid turn 3. So the first thing is Battle Shock for the Leapers. 8+. Nope, they are battle shocked, so they can't control the objective. And if I want to use a stratagem on them, they won't be able to. Okay, the Psychophage is going to move 9. This Leaper is going to run away over that objective. Can't actually shoot the Psychoclastic Torrent, so I'm not going to be able to get much in the way of... Termagants are going to run up the board. And no, I won't bring the Parasite in. I'm going to have to bring him in next turn regardless, because it's going to be a 4th turn. Victory command points before we start. So 1, 2, which is more than the opponent for a maximum of 15. Giving us a 35 to 25 lead. Sweet. And forgot command points as well. Everybody gets a command point. Movement done. Nothing coming in. Shooting. So I will shoot the Psychoclastic Torrent at the captain because I can. D6 shots. Only the 1 this time. Strength 6, toughness 5, freeze. It does wound. -1, so 3-up save. Saved. Then we have 10 flesh bore shots. 4, 9, 10. Try it again. 10. Hitting on 4s. Only 4. Wounding on 4s. Ooh, 3. Not bad. 2-up save. Passed them all. Can we bog him down and take out his last 4 wounds in combat, though? That's the big question. So the Termagants are going to try a charge, and that's all I can do, because nobody else is actually in range to charge at the moment. Oh, now I roll a 12. So yeah, everybody... So those last 2 are in. Chargers first, so 10 Termagants hitting on 4s for half their hits, but we are wounding on 5s as it's higher toughness for a single wound, which is saved. Captain strikes back with his relic sword, hitting on 2s, missing 2. I'll take it. Wounding on 3s because it's strength 6, I believe. No, strength 5. Okay, so it's not double. So 3s, not 2s. Yeah, save the re-roll for that, I think. Still failed. Oh well. 2 wounds at -2 gives them no save, equals 4 damage. And we do bog the captain down, denying him a score at least. Well, that's all I can do for Tyranid turn 3. So it's on to Space Marines turn 4. Nothing to come down. We do score, or don't score, we gain a command point. We don't actually score anything because we're not in control of anything. So it's all going to be onto movement. Terminators are going to advance a little bit. We need to try and get onto that objective. With only 5 inches, they can't really get too close. Yeah, not even close, sadly. Right, we will do some damage, hopefully, to the Psychophage. D6 non-lethal for 6. So I don't want to take another 3 wounds and kill myself. Hitting on a freeze. And it's only strength 5, so regardless of its strength, it's going to be 5s. Nothing. Shooting then, so 1, 2, 3, 4 storm bolters, rapid firing. Hitting on 3s, missing 3, but gaining 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've actually technically not missed with a single shot. This is going to be the hard part because it's going to be 6s to wound. 2 wounds. I'll take it. 2 free up arm saves. Made 1, failed 1. So Psychophage has took its first damage. And then finally 6 shots with the assault cannon. Can we get some hurt? Not with that roll, we can't. 3 hits and strength 6 5s. 1 wound, 1 devastating. Sweet. So it automatically takes 1 wound. But it has got a chance to shrug off the other for a 3+ save. No, so it does take 2 wounds. No shooting from the captain because he's bogged down in combat. I'm going to need a 9 if I want to charge him with the Terminators, and I think I want to, even though he does get his anti-psycho against me. From previous experience, it hasn't done too well. We get a 10. We're in. We need to take out that big beastie, and it does put us in a position to sit on that objective. Chargers first, so I got 3 Power Fist attacks going in. Missing 1, 2, 3, 4 times, but gaining 3 sustained hits. And strength 8, so it's still lower, so 5s. We do make 2, so that's good. And it's -2, but more importantly, 2 damage. He passes 1, fails 1, so takes another 2 damage. The sergeant even gets his 4 attacks with his sword, hitting once. 6s? No. And the tentacle maw fights back with D6 +1, 7. Ouch, this is going to hurt. Hitting on freeze. Missing once. You know what? No, I won't command reroll that. Strength 6, toughness 4. No, 5 even. Still freeze either way. And I will reroll that failed wound into a failed wound. Still, that's 5. That -2. No, -1. So 2 up down to 3 up. Fine. Take 1. And that'll kill 1 Terminator. We'll kill poor old Sergeant. due to him not being very effective against this guy. So that's 4 damage through to the Terminators. Oh, you know what? I got command points. Let's see if I can save him. Can we turn a 2 into a 3? We can't. He dies. Alright, so that is on to the Tyrannid's turn 4. So, Tyrannid's turn 3. First thing we need to do is Battle Shock that Leaper. Oh, 7. He's still Battle Shocked. That's annoying. I could have done with that extra point. So we don't actually score anything there, but we do score over here. Because we have objective control 1, 2, 3. Yeah, objective control lots. So we score 1, which is not more than the opponent, but 5 points. Keeping us in the lead at 40. Both teams get a command point. And we can't do anything extra except for bringing in our Parasite, who's going to go back there for a rear assault, hopefully on the Terminators. Shooting, no shooting because everything is in combat that can shoot. On to charges. Parasite Mortrex is going to need a 9 to get in. Any innate abilities that allow me to reroll? Not really. $11. He's in. Start of the fight phase then. So it itches. I've actually remembered. So leadership 6+. Yeah, they're fine. So charging units will fight first, which is the Parasite. So 6 attacks plus, where's my little black dice gone? There it is, for the Barbed Ovipositor. So everything hits on 2s. Missing 2 of the regular claws, that's fine. The Ovipositor is only strength 3 but anti-infantry 3+, so 3s on that, and 4s on the whites. I will command reroll the Ovipositor, which has decided to chuck itself on the floor, into a success. So -2 against the claws. So no, -2 against the Ovipositor. So and that is a 5 up. Oh, 4 up. Saved. And then 2 saves of 3 up. Failed 1, so that is only a single damage through to a Terminator. And Space Marines to pick a unit to fight next. We'll do the Terminators. So 3 of Power Fists are against the Psychophage. Hitting on 3s. Missing 4 times but gaining 2 from sustained. And wounding on 5s. That is cool. We got 2. Yeah, we'll do a reroll. Come on. Yeah, that's 3. Sweet. So that's my 1 reroll for this phase. So -2 to the 3+ save, down to a 5. Didn't save any of them. So that is going to be 6 damage. He's already took 5. And yeah, his wounds is 10. That is him dead. Does he deadly demise? No, he doesn't. Punchy, punch, punch. And then the Librarian and the remaining Power Fist will fight the Parasite. Hitting twice with a Power Fist. Strength 8, toughness 5, so it's not double. So that's fine. He misses. 4 attacks of the Force Axe. So freeze, missing twice but gaining a sustained, and strength 6, toughness 5, so freeze, and 2. -1 to its save, so it only has a 5-up save. Save none. These are D3 damage each, and I need to get a total of 5. Yes! A 5 is 3 and a 4 is 2. That is 5. That is Parasite dead. Turbulence or fight. 6 guys attacking the captain. Consolidation. Closest enemy unit is actually... Yeah, I'm going to consolidate 3 inches that way with him, so I'm staying within range of the objective. So 3 wounds on the librarian, 1 wound on a terminator. Anyway, 6 attacks on the captain, hitting 3 times, wounding, I need those rolls again. Nothing. Captain striking back, 6 attacks, hitting on 2s. That's everything. Wounding on 3s. That's all I need. That's the unit wiped out. Splat, and I won't consolidate. And that's the end of Tyranids turn 4. Tyranids are ahead, but I think the Space Marines are going to score 15, which that'll push us equal. And then turn 5, projected victory points. So this is turn 5. So it's going to be a tie, unless the Leaper doesn't battle shock. I think the Leaper's going to be shot to death before he gets a chance to battle shock. So projecting the victory points, it's going to be a tied game. So interesting game. Yeah, very interesting. Tied game. Definitely have to replay that, I think, and hope that I can score some extra points. But yeah, we've done not too badly for our first full-size game of Combat Patrol. So all that's left to do is to head back to the magazine and tell you what's up next week. So there we have it. That was our first full game of Combat Patrol. Things might have been different if we had certain special abilities to make use of, but we will start to learn those next time, because issue 23 gives us our Space Marine faction abilities. So we get to finally use Open Moment. I've just seen a video for this issue, and there is an awesome looking tutorial. It sets you up in mid-battle, which is kind of cool. And I've just seen the postman, so maybe my delivery will be here. I'm not too sure. But yeah, sets you up in the middle of a battle from turn 2, so you get to see the Over Moment in full effect and finish the battle off. Got some nice lore articles as well, and we get the first part of our Guardians Defenders. Issue 24 then, part 2 of our Guardian Defenders. We get to take them out into battle, we get some more information for the Silver Templars, and then yeah, after that we got a paint issue, which gives us our Tyranid rules, and then finally the Wraith Lord, which is going to be an awesome model to add to the collection. But that is it for issue 22 of Combat Patrol. Let me know what you've thought of this in the comment section. How did you get on with your first full game of Combat Patrol? Was it a win for your chosen faction, or was it a defeat? Let me know, and we'll share some results and battle strategies. But all that's left for me to do is say thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time on more Combat Patrol Carnage. Goodbye.